Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees of ISKCON Chicago, my humble obeisances to all of you, and I wish you all a very blissful Shri Nityananda Tarayavadashi. I want to express my gratitude to my dear friend, His Grace Chaitanya Kishore Prabhu, for giving me this opportunity to be with all of you today. I would like to read a few verses from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let me share my screen. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We are reading from the 5th chapter of the Adi Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj is saying, Sarva avatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Tahara Dvitiya Deha Shri Balaram. All the translations and purports are by our beloved founder Acharya, Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parivrajaka Ashtottar Shata Shri Srimad Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. Sarva Avatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan. Tahara Dvitiya Deha Shri Balaram. Ekai Swarupa Dohe Bhinna Matrakai Adyakaya Vyuha Krishna Lila Rasahai. Ekai Swarupa Dohe Bhinna Matrakai Adya Kaya Vyuha Krishna Lilara Sahai. Translation. These two are one and the same identity. They differ only in their forms. Lord Balram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna. Adya Kaya Vyuha, first expansion of Krishna. And what does he do? Lord Balram assists Shri Krishna in his transcendental pastimes. Lilara, Krishna Lilara Sahai. But Ekai Swarup Dohe, Bhinna Matraka. Only their body is different, but they are in Swarup, in Tattva, they are one. Krishna and Balram. Both are Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sei Krishna Navadvipe Shri Chaitanya Chandra, Sei Balarama Sange Shri Nityananda. That original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip Dham as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Srila Narottam Thakur has sung this as Brajendra Nandana Jai Shachi Suta Hoilo Se Balarama Hoilo Nitai. Verse number 7. This is the pranam mantra for Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So we should try to memorize this verse. Sankarshana Karanato Yashai Garbho Dashai Chapayo Dhishai Sheshascha Yasyam Shakalasa Nityanandakhya Ramaha Sharanam Mamastu. May Shri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Lord Sankarshana, Sheshanag, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. Shri Balarama Gosai Mula Sankarshana Pacharupa Dhari Kare Krishnera Sevana. Lord Balram is the original Sankarshan. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. Apane kare na Krishna Leela Rasahai Shrishti Leela Karya Kare Dhari Charikai. Shri Nityananda Prabhu himself helps in the pastimes of Lord Krishna. And he does the work of creation in 4 other forms. Shri Nityananda Ram, this is Balram. श्री श्री आदिक सेवातार आज्ञार पालन शेष रूपे करे कृष्णेर विविध सेवन. He executes the orders of Lord Krishna in the work of creation and in the form of Lord Shesh. He serves Krishna in various ways. Sarva Rupe Aswadaye Krishna Sevananda Sei Bala Rama Gaura Sange Nityananda. In all the forms, he tastes the transcendental bliss of serving Krishna. Aswadaye Krishna Seva Ananda. That same Lord Balram is Lord Nityananda, who is the companion of Lord Gaurasundar. Sarva Rupa Aswadaye Krishna Sevananda Sei Balarama Gaura Sange Nityananda. Balramji has come as Shri Nityananda Mahaprabhu. Shri Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, having discussed the tattva of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, let us now dive into the nectarian ocean of the Leela, the pastimes of Shri Nityananda Ram. It is said that Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So in this verse, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is offering his obeisances to Lord Krishna, who has appeared in Kali Yuga in 5 forms. Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishna. Krishna has appeared in 5 forms. What are they? Bhakta Rupa. Bhakta Rupa is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Swarupakam. Bhakta Swarup is Shri Nityananda Prabhu. Bhakta Avatar is Advaita Acharya. Bhaktakhyam and Bhakta, the ideal devotee, is Srivas Thakur. And Bhakta Shakti is Shri Gadadhar Pandit, because he is Ladini Shakti, Srimati Radharani. So Shri Nityananda Prabhu, who is Nityananda Swarup, he is also called Nityananda Swarup, he is the distributor of Krishna Prem. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to distribute and to relish. Relishing is done by Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the help of Shri Gadadhar Pandit, who is Radharani, because Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha Bhav Didu Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. He is in Radha Bhav. So it is Gadadhar Pandit, who is Radharani, who is helping Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experience and relish Radha Bhav. And Shri Mahaprabhu came for 2 purposes: to relish Radha Bhav, to relish Vraj Ras, and to distribute Vraj Ras, to distribute Krishna Prem. Namo Mahavadanya Krishna Prem Pradayate. So Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is relishing Radha Bhav with the help of Gadadhar Pandit. And with the help of Nityananda Prabhu, he is distributing Krishna Prem. So Shri Nityananda Prabhu is the primary distributor of Krishna Prem. And how that is so, let us discuss by seeing how Nityananda Prabhu has very wonderful, sweet relationships with different devotees. Shri Nityananda Prabhu was instructed by Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadvip one day. He called Nitai and he called Thakur Haridas and said, Shuno Shuno Nityananda Shuno Haridas Amara Agya Tumi Karo Prachar. Shuno Shuno Nityananda Shuno Haridas Amara Agya Sarvatra Karo Prachar. Take my orders and distribute this all over the world. And what is the order? Grihe Grihe Pratigehe Koro Ei Bhiksha Bolo Krishna Bhajo Krishna Koro Krishna Shiksha. Go to every household, go to everyone without discrimination and ask them for one charity. Koro Ei Bhiksha. Ask them, beg them for this charity. What is the charity you want? Bolo Krishna Bhajo Krishna Koro Krishna Shiksha. Please chant the name of Krishna. Bolo Krishna. Bhajo Krishna, worship Krishna, and Koro Krishna Shiksha. Do as Krishna has instructed in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. These 3 instructions. Chant Krishna Nam, worship Krishna, and follow the instructions of Krishna. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha. So please go and distribute this instruction and make everyone chant Krishna Nam. Go, go, go. taking this instruction to heart, Shri Nityananda Prabhu, who is so great that all the Purusha avatars, Karanadakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Shirodakshay Vishnu, Anantasheshnag, they are all parts of Nityananda Prabhu. They are Amsha and Kala. They are parts of the parts of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is so great. And he is going to the houses of materialistic people, karma kandis, jnana kandis, atheists, agnostics, blasphemers. And he is taking a humble position. Dante Trinadhari. He's taking a blade of grass between his teeth and begging them, please, Prabhura agyaye paye mage e bhiksha. Bolo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, koro Krishna shiksha. Nadi yago drume Nityananda Mahajan. Prabhura agyaye paye mage e bhiksha. I have received the order of my Prabhu, Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Dev. And on his order, I am asking you for this bhiksha. Begging you for this bhiksha. Prabhura agyaye paye mage e bhiksha. Bolo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, koro Krishna shiksha. Krishna rasam sara koro chodi anachar. Okay, you are grahastha, no problem. Krishna rasam sara karo. Have a Krishna conscious grahastha life. Have a Krishna conscious family life. Krishna rasam sara koro chadi anachar. And give up the bad habits. Chadi anachar. Give up durachar. Give up sinful habits. And have a Krishna conscious family life. Krishna rasam sara koro chadi anachar. Krishna mata, Krishna pita, Krishna dhana pran. Nadi yago drume Nityananda Mahajan. Our Nityananda Prabhu, the distributor of Krishna Nam and Krishna Prem, is begging everyone, please give up your sinful habits and just chant Krishna Nam. Krishna is your mother. Krishna is your father. Krishna is your life and soul. Because Krishna instructed like this in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna Upadesh. Krishna instructed like this. Pita ahamasya jagata mata dhata pitamaha vedyam pavitram omkara riksama yajurevacha. Pita ahamasya jagata mata dhata pitamaha. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am your mother, I am your father, I am your grandfather, I am your maintainer, I am the syllable Om, I am the Vedas, I am everything. Sarva yonishu kaunteya aham bija pradapita. I am the father. So therefore, Nityananda Prabhu is instructing Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Pran, Nadi Yago Drume Nityananda Mahajan. Please chant Krishna Nam. And some people would be fascinated. Who is this Nitai? And who is this Thakur Haridas? Both of them are effulgent. We have never seen such spiritual effulgence in any human being. It is advitiya, it is incomparable. They are so charming. They are so amazing. They are so beautiful to look at. Shri Nityananda Prabhu's complexion is like a white cloud. Very effulgent. Sharat Chandra Bhranti Spuradamala Kantim Gajagatim Hari Premon Mattam. He is Hari Prema Mattam. He is divinely intoxicated with Krishna Prem and Sharat Chandra Bhranti Spurad Amala Kanti Gajagatim. Nityananda Prabhu's complexion puts the beautiful full moon to shame. Sharat Chandra Bhranti and Gajagatim. He walks with the majestic, confident gait of an elephant. And this Nityananda Prabhu is so handsome, so beautiful, wearing his charming blue dhoti. He's coming to my doorstep and knocking on my door and asking me, as a beggar, he's asking me, and I'm giving him some money, I'm giving him some foodstuffs, and he's saying, no, I don't want that bhiksha. Prabhura agyaye paye mage ek bhiksha, only one bhiksha I want. Bolo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, koro Krishna shiksha. Just become a devotee of Krishna. That's all I'm asking. Please, become a devotee of Krishna. Become a devotee of Krishna. Some people would get charmed by this. And they had this loving relationship with Nityananda Prabhu. They would immediately say, promise. From today I will chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this way, having a very loving relationship of affection and respect, Shri Nityananda Prabhu transformed the lives of many people and made them into pure devotees. But some people were suspicious. Somewhere favorable, they got transformed. Somewhere suspicious, they would think, Samshayatma vinashyati, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. They would think, who is this Nitai? Is he sent by some gangster to come and look into my house and see where I'm keeping my valuables and how much I am worth, so that at night they will plan burglary? They would look at him suspiciously. Who is this? Why is he coming? Where is he from? Who are his parents? I have never seen him growing up in Navadvip. They would look at Nitai with great suspicion. Who is this Haridas Thakur? He's not even a Hindu. Like that, they would be very suspicious and they would not accept the message. At that time, Nityananda Prabhu would start falling at their feet and begging them, please, please, chant Krishna. You will be delivered. Chant Krishna. And they would say, go, go, go away. We don't want you. We don't want you. So in this way, different people, they responded differently to Nityananda Prabhu's begging. Some who were not allowed to participate in the night kirtans of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Srivasangan, because those kirtans were very confidential. They were not different from Ras Leela. Golokera Prema Dhana Harinam Sankirtana. The Rasa Sthali of Golok Vrindavan appears in Sri Navadvip Dham as Srivasangan. And the Rasa Leela of Radha and Krishna, Radha Rasa Vihari, appears in Gaur Leela as the all-night Harinam Sankirtan, Prem Nam Sankirtan in Srivasangan. So those who are completely pure, those who are pure devotees were only allowed. Around 200 devotees were allowed every night for the night Sankirtan. In the daytime, everyone was invited. Open program. Night program was closed program. So some devotees or some people, some residents of Navadvip who were denied entry for the night kirtans, they held a grudge against Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when Nityananda Prabhu came to beg on behalf of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they would get angry. They would pick up a stick and they would say, let's beat these fellows. They were the ones who denied us entry at night. So in this way, Nityananda Prabhu had to go through so much. But with a smiling face, he tolerated everything. Akarodha Paramananda Nityananda Ram. Never got angry. Never got angry. I am serving my Lord. Because he was happy, blissfully engaged in the service of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. One day, Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu came to a place where there was a commotion going on. Many people were standing and they were discussing. Hush, 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 everything. Nityananda Prabhu asked, what is going on? And they saw that there were two gigantic people. They were very well built, like the WWF wrestlers. You have seen those 350 pounders? Huge. They are 7 feet tall, very muscular, hefty fellows. Jagai and Madhai were like that. They are, after all, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Sometimes in our dramas, we portray even Jagai and Madhai are very saintly because some devotees are playing the role. But actually, Jagai and Madhai were humongous. They were very powerful, very scary. And the worst thing was, they were always under the influence of alcohol. They were always intoxicated, and not so intoxicated that they will not be dangerous. Because we see in this world, sometimes some drunkards, they drink so much that they are completely knocked out. They cannot harm anybody. They are just lying there by the roadside. Jagai and Madhai were not like that. They used to drink just enough to remove all inhibitions. But their strength was maintained, and they would punch and fight and burn down people's houses, murder. They were very hardened criminals. And when people told Nityananda Prabhu about Jagai and Madhai, that they were actually in a Brahminical family, Jagadananda and Madhavananda were their birth names. But they had come into bad association. By the influence of bad association, they had become very bad, very sinful. They had become Jagai and Madhai. Nityananda Prabhu thought, if Jagai and Madhai become devotees, then my Gauranga Mahaprabhu's fame will spread everywhere. It is like some preacher of our International Society for Krishna Consciousness thinks that let me see and go to the leader of some terrorist organization and make the terrorist into pure devotee. He will shave his head, wear kanti, tilak, 12 places tilak on his body, get a tulsi mala and start chanting Harinam and offer obeisances to everyone. I am your servant, please. What service I can do? Imagine if the greatest gangster who is on the FBI top 10 list Suddenly some preachers go and preach to him and he comes and falls at the feet of the police. I surrender. Please forgive me for all my sins. I am willing to take any punishment. I have nothing to defend myself. I just want to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then the fame of the Krishna consciousness movement will spread so much. Nityananda Prabhu was thinking like that. He was going for the rhino, chasing the rhinos. He thought, let me make these two rhinos into cows, humble cows, Surabhi cows. Then my Gauranga Mahaprabhu's fame will spread everywhere. Thinking like this, Nityananda Prabhu approached Jagai and Madhai and said the same message. Krishna rasam sara karo chhadi anachar. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Pran. Give up your sinful ways. Chhadi anachar. Krishna ra samsara karo. Live a Krishna conscious life. Krishna is your mother. Krishna is your father. Krishna is your life and soul. Madhai said, who are you? Giving me those instructions, telling me to stop my sinful activities. Who are you? And Sri Nityananda Prabhu said, I am Avadhut. Avadhut. Avadhut is one who is such a pure devotee that he is beyond Varnashram. Madhai got very angry. He looked for his pot of alcohol. He picked it up very swiftly and with great power sent it crashing down on the forehead of Sri Nityananda Ram. And immediately Nityananda Prabhu started bleeding profusely. His uttariya, his blue dhoti, his chest, his face, everything was drenched with blood. Blood started pouring out. And the news spread everywhere that Nityananda Prabhu has been viciously attacked. We had told Nityananda not to go near Jagai and Madhai because the previous day Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur had gone there. And Jagai and Madhai had attacked. And somehow Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu had run away. And Mahaprabhu had said, you go preach all day and at night give me a report. That night, Nityananda Prabhu gave report to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are these two, many devotees, many people became devotees today, but we failed in converting two very demoniac people, Jagai and Madhai. They actually attacked us, Mahaprabhu. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, if they attacked you and Haridas Thakur, I will take my Sudarshan Chakra and cut off their head right now. And Nityananda Prabhu said, no, give me one more day. Give me one more day. Tomorrow, certainly I will make them devotees. Like that, Nityananda Prabhu had prayed. But devotees had told him, no, Nitai, you can preach to everyone, but don't go near Jagai Madhai. So people are saying, we had told him not to go. Now see what happened. He has been hit on the head. Yesterday already they chased. With great difficulty they escaped. And Haridas Thakur, he had such a sweet relationship with Nityananda Prabhu. They were preaching partners. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, in his purport to this verse, Shuno Shuno Nityananda Shuno Haridas, he writes, why did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu select Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur to preach Harinam? Why these two? Why not other devotees? Why specifically these two devotees? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains, it is because Sri Nityananda Prabhu is the Adi Guru. Krishna consciousness movement is spread through the Guru Tattva. And Sri Nityananda Prabhu represents the Akhanda Guru Tattva. He is the Adi Guru. He is the original spiritual master. Therefore, Nityananda Prabhu. And why Haridas Thakur? Because the preaching is of Krishna Nam. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha. Krishna Nam. Kali Kale Nama Vinu Nahi Anya Dharma. Sarva Mantra Sar Nam Ei Shastra Marma. In Kali Yuga, only Nam works. And who is the Namacharya? It is Srila Haridas Thakur. Therefore, for preaching, Mahaprabhu, such a genius, he selected these two devotees, the Nam Acharya and the distributor of Nam. Nadiya Godrum mein Nityananda Ram. So in this way, Haridas Thakur was telling Advaita Acharya the report. Oh Advaita, I have made a big mistake by selecting Nityananda Prabhu as my preaching partner. He's such an unpredictable Avadhut. He does so many unbelievable things. We are preaching on the banks of Ganga. People have just taken their bath, they're coming out and we are preaching to them. And suddenly Nityananda Prabhu will see some crocodiles in the river. And people are running away from Ganga out of fear of crocodiles. And Nityananda Prabhu will go and jump into the Ganga. And he'll start swimming with the crocodiles. He will splash water on the crocodiles and preach to them and make them chant. Sometimes he will jump on the backs of the crocodile and float on the crocodiles. And everyone is very scared to see this. Sometimes he will jump in front of the girls on Ganga Ghat and he will ask them, will you marry me? And their mother and father will see that and they will come running, chasing with a stick in their hand. And Nityananda Prabhu, he is much younger than me. Shri Haridas Thakur was 35 years elder to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Nityananda Prabhu was only 12 years elder. So Shri Nityananda Prabhu was a good 13, 14 years younger than, so Nityananda Prabhu was 13, 14 years younger than Thakur Haridas. So Haridas Thakur was saying this, Nityananda Prabhu, who is Avadhut, he runs so swiftly, he's young and powerful. He runs very fast and runs away, escapes. But I am not so swift runner, and I get caught by these people. And then they threaten to beat me. They think I'm with this Avadhut. So it's very difficult to preach. And today he went to those two drunkards, dangerous people, Jagai and Madhai, and almost got both of us killed. And you know what Advaita Acharya said? He had such a intimate relationship with Nityananda Prabhu and he had such confidence in Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. He said, my dear Thakur Mahashay, my dear Haridas, because Nityananda Prabhu has cast his merciful glance on Jagai and Madhai, please be rest assured that very soon they will be joining our Nam Sankirtan party and they will be jumping and singing and dancing with us very soon. Just wait and watch. And Haridas Thakur smiled. But all the devotees today, they were saying, why did Nityananda Prabhu not listen to us? Yesterday we were telling him, preach to anyone else, but not Jagai Madhai. Now see, his head is bleeding profusely. What will happen? Go and call Mahaprabhu, go and call Mahaprabhu, and quickly the word spread. Actually, it is described that on the second day, Haridas Thakur was not there with Nityananda Prabhu. On the first day when they were chased, they were together. On the second day, Nityananda Prabhu was coming to Srivas Angan for the Nam Sankirtan. But on the way, he met Jagai and Madhai. Because Jagai and Madhai were looking for that Avadhut. Where is that Avadhut who wears a blue dhoti, who tried to preach to us yesterday? They were looking. And Nitai was also looking for them. They met and Nityananda Prabhu very innocently went and started preaching to them the second time. And this time Madhai hit him on the head. As Nityananda Prabhu was bleeding, he folded his hands, did not get angry. Akarodha Paramananda Nityanandanam. Akarodha, no anger. He folded his hands and said, that's all right. You have hit me, that's okay. But please chant Krishna Nam. Chant Krishna Nam. If you chant Hare Krishna, your life will become perfect. Madhai, please chant Hare Krishna. Jagai, you also chant Hare Krishna. Nityananda was preaching to both of them. Madhai got so angry. He again picked up a pot of alcohol. See, that same body of Nityananda Prabhu that we were bathing in the temple just now with milk, yogurt, ghee, honey, sweet water, fruit juices, isn't it? Abhishek was going on. Then with a soft cloth, Nityananda Prabhu is dried. He is given nice, clean clothes to wear, nice jewelry is put, gopi dots, sandalwood paste, different attar, fragrance. With so much love, it is offered to Nityananda Prabhu. The devotees love Nitai so much and they serve him with such gentleness and such care. That same Nityananda Prabhu, my dear friends, is being repeatedly attacked by Madhai. Again, he picked up the pot and wanted to hit Nitai the second time. At that time, his brother, Jagai, he's held the hand of Madhai. He said, stop! Don't you see? He's a very great soul. He's a sadhu. He has been hit. He's bleeding, but he's not angry. He's not an ordinary person. Why are you hitting him? Leave him. Let him go. And Madhai was saying, no, no, I will kill him. I will kill him. I will not stop until he's dead. At that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared there. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately summoned his Sudarshan Chakra. That same chakra that he had released at Durvas Muni. Durvas Muni could not escape. That same Sudarshan Chakra that had severed the head of Shishupal and Dantavakra. That same Sudarshan Chakra was summoned by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chakra, Chakra, he called. And immediately the Chakra manifested. And he looked at Madhai and he ordered the Chakra, cut off the head of this sinful Aparadhi He has attacked my Nitai. Nitai is more dear to me than my own life. Immediately kill him. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested such anger. He appeared like Lord Narasimhadev. And Madhai was petrified. He was so scared. He had never seen such an angry form and dangerous form with Sudarshan Chakra, glaring effulgence like millions of suns, the Chakra. And all this anger was directed towards Madhai. Madhai started shaking and trembling with fear. And he fell at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please forgive me. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I will forgive Jagai because he tried to protect my Nitai. But you, I will punish you. I will kill you now, but that will not be the end. From here, you will go to Yamlok, and then Yamaraj will take over. And for millions of lifetimes, he will punish you there. Madhai started trembling with fear. And Jagai was in bliss that I have been saved, I have been delivered. Mahaprabhu said he will save me. And immediately Mahaprabhu cast his merciful glance at Jagai, and Jagai started chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Immediately Krishna Prem came in his heart. And Madhai said, whatever he has done, that I have also done. And whatever I have done, that he has also done. We are all partners in crime, both of us. So if you are forgiving him, then please forgive me also. Mahaprabhu said, Madhai, I will never forgive you because you have attacked Nitai. Whereas Jagai tried to protect Nitai. So there is no respect for you. The only way you can be forgiven is if the most merciful Nityananda Prabhu forgives you. Madhai immediately left the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and ran to the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is so merciful. Srila Prabhupada said there is no limit to the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. As soon as Madhai took shelter of Nityananda Prabhu immediately forgave him. And Nityananda Prabhu fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, Mahaprabhu, my dear Chaitanya Dev, if I have ever served Krishna nicely, if I have done anything that has pleased you, in exchange for that service, I only ask for one benediction. Please forgive Madhai and give him Krishna Prem. That's all that I want. Please. Nityananda Prabhu prayed. And the Sudarshan Chakra was not leaving the finger of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu ordered the Chakra to sever the neck of Madhai, but the Chakra was not leaving the finger of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Do you want to know why? Because Sri Balramji, he serves Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in many ways, in 10 different ways. He becomes the garments, the bed, the garlands, the jewelry, the umbrella, the shoes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he also becomes the weapons of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That Sudarshan Chakra is a manifestation of Nityananda Prabhu, and therefore that Sudarshan Chakra would not leave the finger of Mahaprabhu. Because Nityananda Prabhu wanted Madhai to live and do bhajan. When Nityananda Prabhu prayed for the deliverance of Madhai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's anger immediately subsided. Because Madhai had taken shelter at the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. Please visualize this, my dear friends. On the streets of Navadvip, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is standing. Ajanulambita bhujau. He is 7 feet tall. He has long arms and he's holding Sudarshan Chakra. He's so angry. He is the source of Narasimhadev. At his lotus feet is Nityananda Prabhu praying for Madhai. And at the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu is Madhai. And over there is Jagai in ecstasy chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And Madhai is saying, I want that Krishna Prem. Please give me Krishna Prem. He's begging for Krishna Prem. Ravan is begging for Krishna Prem. Hiranyakashipu is begging for Krishna Prem. Shishupal is begging for Krishna Prem. This is Prem Purushottam Gauranga Mahaprabhu's Gaur Leela. So beautiful. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgave Madhai and gave him Krishna Prem. And told him, my dear Jagai and Madhai, from today I take all your sins upon myself. You have become sinless. Do not think about what you have done in the past. Look forward. Look ahead. And chant Harinam. Chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Serve the Vaishnavas. And No one should consider you sinful from today. Mahaprabhu said. Therefore, my dear friends, it's very important. We should not do jati buddhi, Vaishnava jati buddhi. It's a aprad. It's a hellish mentality to look at a Vaishnava with jati buddhi. Jati buddhi means to see the past mistakes of that Vaishnava, the sinful past of that Vaishnava. No, let us not be concerned with the past. Now the Vaishnava has given up all sinful activities. The person has given up all sinful activities and has taken to the path of being a Vaishnava, and he's chanting Harinam. So let us see him for what he is today. That is a teaching of Mahaprabhu. He told, nobody should consider both of you sinful anymore. Now you are sadhus from today. Just chant Harinam. And from that day, Jagai and Madhai started chanting how much? You would like to know? 128 rounds every day. 2 lakh every day. This is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have to slowly start with 2 rounds, then 4 rounds, then 16 rounds. It takes, I know one friend of mine, he was chanting 14 rounds for 2 years. 14 rounds for 2 years. And then we finally told him, Baba, you increase it to 2 rounds because you cannot get into the line for initiation unless you are chanting 16 rounds. Why are you stuck at 14 rounds? So Shri Aja, that's my final exam. Let it get over. Then I will add the 2 rounds. Then finally came to 16 rounds. So it takes us so much time to come to 16 rounds. Jagai and Madhai were chanting 0 rounds. And suddenly in one day, they came to 128 rounds, 2 lakh. This is the power of Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. Jagai and Madhai became pure devotees. In fact, that same evening, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them, today we will have Nam Sankirtan in my house. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu took Jagai and Madhai to their house, to house of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Shachi Mata cooked for all the devotees that day. And in the courtyard of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's own home, there was amazing Nam Sankirtan. There's a very beautiful description how Yamraj, Chitragupt, Ganeshji, Lord Shiva, so many devtas, they came to witness this first Nam Sankirtan of Jagai and Madhai. But we don't have time to discuss all that. But I remember in 2003, when I had gone for the Kartik Yatra, Mayapur Yatra, with my spiritual master, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Maharaj said something I will never forget. Maharaj said, he was describing this Nam Sankirtan of Jagai and Madhai, the first Nam Sankirtan of Jagai and Madhai. And it was such a sensation that Jagai and Madhai have become pure devotees. They have taken Ganga Snan, they have worn Kanthi, Tilak, and they are having Tulsi Mala in their hand, they are chanting and they are doing Nam Sankirtan. Amazing. So all the devtas came. And Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj said, the first demigod, the first devta to come there was Lord Ganesh, Ganpati Bappa. And he was dancing. He was dancing in ecstasy, seeing how Jagai and Madhai had been delivered. And then Maharaj looked at all the 3,000 devotees and said, Maharashtrian devotees, are you listening? Ganeshji is dancing in the Nam Sankirtan of Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So everyone was very happy that Jagai and Madhai had become pure. Mahaprabhu performed the wonderful pastime of taking all the sins of Jagai and Madhai upon himself. And his complexion turned dark, Ghanasham. He looked at Advaita Acharya and said, Advaita Acharya, how do I look? Advaita Acharya said, you look like my Madan Gopal. You look like Krishna, Ghansham, Sham Sundar. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santas sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam Shama Sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Shri Advaita Acharya did not say that, oh, you are looking black. No, you are looking Ghansham, Sham Sundar. Because Advaita Acharya's eyes were anointed with love, Krishna Prem. He says, you are looking Ghansham. But all the devotees were concerned. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radharani's complexion, Mahaprabhu had Radha Bhav and Duti. Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. He has got the duty, he has got the luster of Radharani, and now suddenly has become black. What happened to Mahaprabhu? So devotees are very concerned. And Mahaprabhu said, all of you do Nam Sankirtan, and all these sins will go away. Nama Sankirtana, what is that verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, last verse? Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo dukkha kshamanastam namami harim param. Nama sankirtanam yasya sarva papa pranashanam. By doing Harinam Sankirtan, all the sins are destroyed. So as soon as the devotee started tumultuous Harinam Sankirtan, the complexion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the golden, brilliant complexion came back. And all the dark sins, they left the body of Mahaprabhu. So devotees asked, Mahaprabhu, where have the sins gone with Harinam Sankirtan? Mahaprabhu said, all the sins of Jagai and Madhai, they had performed all sorts of sins. Meat eating, intoxication, gambling, murder, arson, everything. Their sins are like a huge mountain. And they have become unmanifest now. They have gone away. But whoever criticizes the Vaishnavas, whoever does sadhu ninda, whoever engages in the blasphemy of devotees, the sins of Jagai and Madhai are there in the ether. And anyone who criticizes, the sins of Jagai and Madhai will come to them. And this is a very important Siddhanta, my dear friends. We should not criticize. Our acharyas explain a Puranic story mentioned in our ancient Puranas, that once upon a time there was a king, and he was very charitably disposed, and he was giving away charity to the Brahmanas and sadhus, and everyone, many people, sadhus would come to the kingdom to receive charity. But one day, as the servants of the king were distributing prasad, charity, there was a eagle who had caught a cobra, a king cobra, who was very poisonous, and was flying in the sky overhead with the prey, the cobra, in its claws. And as it was going, some venom dripped from the fangs of the cobra and fell into one plate. And as the plate was handed, nobody realized it. It fell from the sky. As the plate was given to a Brahman, the Brahman ate it, but it was all poison. And the Brahman died right there and then. Cobra is very poisonous. So everyone they realized what must have happened. Some people had seen the eagle with the snake. They put one and one together and they understood that, oh, the poison must have fallen. So even Yamraj was confused. A Brahman has been killed. There has been Brahmahatya. Who should get the sin of Brahmahatya? Should the king get the sin who is distributing that prasad? No, because king did not mix poison. He was not even aware. Should the servers who were serving get the sin of Brahmahatya? No, because even they had no clue. They didn't do any mistake. They were nicely distributing the prasad. Okay, then is the eagle responsible? Should the eagle get the sins? No, animals don't get sins for what they do. Then who should the sins go to? Yamraj was sitting and thinking. Dharmaraj, Yamraj, Mahajan, he was thinking, who should get the sin of Brahmahatya? And he was there. He came down to that city and he was trying to investigate who should get the sins for this Brahmahatya. At that time, a Brahman came into that village because he also wanted to receive charity from the king. And he did not know where the palace is. So that Brahman who just came into the village, he asked some shopkeepers by the street. Some people were sitting by the road and they were selling some goods. He asked them, where is the king's palace? I have come to receive some charity from the king. So one person who was sitting, shopkeeper selling, he said, oh, don't go to that king for charity, Baba. Don't go to that king. Don't you know that king is a killer of Brahmanas? Today only he killed a Brahman. He poisons and kills Brahmanas. Don't go to that king. The shopkeeper told the visiting Brahman like that. And Yamraj was watching, and Yamraj said, Chitragupt, give the sin to this shopkeeper because he's blaspheming. He's spreading rumors. He's gossiping. Give him the sins. This is a very important principle. We should not criticize. The sins of Jagai and Madhai are waiting. If we criticize, we will get the sins of Jagai and Madhai. Jagai and Madhai had a complete transformation. They became pure devotees. But the nature of a pure devotee is very humble. And Madhai specifically was very pained in his heart. And he once approached Nityananda Prabhu. Now see the sweet relationship between Nitai and Madhai. Madhai had viciously attacked Nitai. But see the sweet relationship. One day in a solitary place, Madhai approached Nityananda Prabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu, he told Madhai that Madhai, I have been watching you for such a long time. You have been delivered now. You have been accepted by Mahaprabhu. Why are you always crying? Why are you so sad? Why are you so filled with guilt? Please tell me. I want to see you happy. Nitai told Madhai. And Madhai said, what can I do, my dear Nityananda Prabhu? There is no peace for me. Every moment I am burning in the fire of guilt because I have committed such Vaishnava Aparadha. Nityananda Prabhu said, you committed many sins, but you never committed Vaishnava Aparadha. Because at that time, there were not many Vaishnavas in Navadvip where you lived. Most of them were Karma Kandis and Jnana Kandis and very proud students and things like that. But you never got a chance to offend Vaishnavas, fortunately. So Vaishnava Aparadha you did not do. Madhai said, my dear, now listen to Madhai. Listen to the logic of Madhai. It's very sweet. Madhai said, my dear Nityananda Prabhu, at that time they may not have been devotees. But because of your preaching, because especially after Jagai Madhai became devotees, everybody became devotee in Navadvip. It was such a positive preaching that if Jagai and Madhai can become such sadhus, what is the power of bhakti? So everybody took to Krishna bhakti. So Madhai is telling Nityananda Prabhu that time those people may not have been Vaishnavas who we offended. But my dear Nitai, by the power of your preaching and Mahaprabhu's mercy, now practically all those people have become devotees. So we will get Vaishnava Aparadha. And Madhai quotes the example of Dhruv Maharaj. He says, when Suruchi, the stepmother of Dhruv, offended Dhruv Maharaj. He was a 5-year-old boy. That time Dhruv Maharaj was not a devotee. He was just a boy. He was not a devotee. He had not manifested himself as a devotee. But Suruchi had offended Dhruv Maharaj. And later on, Dhruv Maharaj went to the forest, got initiated from Narad Muni and had darshan of Vishnu and became a pure Vaishnava. Later on, Dhruv became a first-class devotee. But because Suruchi had offended Dhruv, and now later on Dhruv has become a devotee, Suruchi got Vaishnava Aparadha. And therefore she had to burn in the forest fire. And her son also was killed by a yaksha. Her son was murdered and she got burnt in a forest fire because she got Vaishnava Aparadha. So Madhai said, if Dhruv Maharaj got Vaishnava, if Dhruv Maharaj's stepmother got Vaishnava Aparadha for offending Dhruv, when he was not a devotee, but later on he became devotee. Those people I offended, that time they were not devotees, but now they have all become devotees. And I'm so full of guilt. I don't know what to do. I cannot sleep at night. I'm so pained in my heart. Nityananda Prabhu said, you don't worry. I will tell you a solution. You go to Ganga and you build a ghat. You build a bathing ghat there. And when the people come to take bath, you tell them, I will hold your clothes. You take bath, your clothes will get dirty on the ground. I will hold your clothes. I will fold them. I will wash them. You want to take water? Some Matajis will want to take water for cooking. You want to carry water to your home? Give me. Please give me the pot. I will carry. You become the coolie for them. You carry their water. You wash their clothes. You serve them. When they are taking bath, you hold their clothes and stand there. You do Vaishnav Seva. Prabhu kahe Vaishnav Seva nama sankirtan dui kara shigrapa be Shri Krishna charan. Just these two things we do, we will get Krishna. Madhai said, you chant Krishna Nam and you serve the Vaishnavas. You build a ghat so they can bathe nicely, comfortably in Ganga. And Madhai with his own hands, he constructed a beautiful ghat on the banks of Ganga. And he would serve devotees. He would wash their clothes. He would carry their clothes. He would fold their clothes. He would carry water pots to the kitchens of the different Matajis, assisting them. Madhai started serving everyone. He would offer obeisances to everyone who would come to Ganga Ghat. Thousands of obeisances every day, Madhai. But some people still held a grudge against Jagai and Madhai. One day, Madhai offered obeisances to one man who had come to take bath in the Ganga. Offered him Dandavat Pranam. And he criticized Madhai. Said, hey, Madhai, you're trying to appear very saintly. I know what nonsense, sinful activities you have done. Don't try to pretend like a sadhu. He picked up a stone and threw at Madhai. And Madhai was hit on the head. Now, this person who had thrown the stone at Madhai's head, he was a little skinny fellow. And Madhai, we discussed, he was like a powerful giant. So Madhai is like this. And this skinny fellow is shouting and screaming at Madhai and criticizing him and threw a stone and Madhai is bleeding. Just like Madhai had made Nityananda Prabhu bleed, now Madhai is bleeding. And the stone fell on the ground. And Madhai looked at the stone. Madhai looked at the skinny fellow who had hit him. Madhai bent down and picked up that stone and walked near that skinny fellow and handed him the stone and said, "Do it again. Please hit me again. Hit me again and again. I deserve so much more. I deserve so much more. Please hit me again and again. I am very sinful." And he again fell at his feet. Seeing the tolerance and the humility of Madhai, even that angry fellow, his heart was transformed. And he said, "I also want to become a servant of Mahaprabhu. I also want to join you. You are really a saint. You are truly a saint." This was the transformation of Madhai by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is with us today also, my dear friends. I would like to conclude by telling all of you how Shri Nityananda Prabhu still has a very sweet relationship with each and every one of us. And Nityananda Prabhu is there to reciprocate with all of us. In last 4 minutes, I would like to quickly conclude. Srila Prabhupada is the first Acharya in the history of our Gaudiya Parampara who has so widely established the worship of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Typically, in our Gaudiya line, most temples have Radha Krishna and Gauranga Mahaprabhu. These three deities, Radha Krishna and Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna nahi anye. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna on the altar, three deities, typically. But Srila Prabhupada, he propagated the worship of Gaur Nitai. In the Gaudiya Math, there is Gadai Gaur, Gadadhara Pandit and Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Gaur Nitai was widely spread. The service of Gaur Nitai was widely spread by Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada wants us to get the mercy of the Akhanda Guru Tattva, Adi Guru, Shri Nityananda Prabhu, because Nityananda Prabhu is the power behind all the preachers. And this is a preaching mission. Preaching is the essence, and Nityananda Prabhu is the main preacher. So Srila Prabhupada has given us the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. And one very great exalted disciple of Srila Prabhupada shows us through his example how the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu is available to all of us even today. And this great personality is Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, it's a very long story, but I will cut it short because we have only 3 minutes. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, he was a phenomenal book distributor of Srila Prabhupada. In fact, His Holiness Satswarup Das Goswami Maharaj, he started a BBT traveling book distribution party where entire sets of Srila Prabhupada's books were being sold to universities and colleges. And he made Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj the head of that party. And Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj asked His Holiness Hridayananda Goswami Maharaj, "Where should I preach in the colleges?" Maharaj said, "If you want to preach in colleges, go to Boston, because in Boston there are so many famous universities and colleges." So Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj got into a van with a god brother by the name Mahabodhi Prabhu, and they came to Boston, and there are so many universities. They came to one particular university, and it was a public holiday. They did not realize it. It was something. Dr. Martin Luther King, some day it was a weekday, but it was a holiday. And they didn't realize it. Devotees, they are in their own world, chanting Harinam. So they just came and they realized, oh, it's a public holiday. The university is closed. Now, this is in the 1970s. This is the 1970s, or maybe late 1960s. I'm not very sure. And everything was closed. So Mahabodhi Prabhu said, "Oh, it's too bad. Everything is closed. Anyway, let's just go back. We'll come back tomorrow." And Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj said, "Srila Prabhupada, who is the representative of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, he has brought us here. There must be some purpose. We have not driven all the way here for nothing. There must be some purpose. So let's try to distribute books." No. Mahabodhi Prabhu said, no. The university is closed. There's no one here practically. Let's just go. It's waste of time. All right. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, "All right, let me at least go to the restroom. I will answer nature's call and I'll come quickly in 1 minute and then we'll go." So Mahabodhi Prabhu said, "All right, hurry up, okay? I'm waiting in the car. Quickly go and come." So Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, with his book bag on his back, he ran into the campus because there were 1 or 2 cars were still there. So he thought, I'll just use a public restroom and we'll get going. 5 minutes went by, 10 minutes went by, 15 minutes went by, half an hour went by, 1 hour went by, 1.5 hours went by. And Mahabodhi Prabhu is waiting here. Now he wants to go to restroom. And Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj has still not come back. Still not come back. So finally, it's 2 hours. And Mahabodhi Prabhu is really now restless. And then he sees Bhakti Tirtha Swami coming back. And his book bag is empty. He's coming back. So he says, what happened? Where have you been? It's been 2 hours. You're supposed to go to the restroom and come back in like 2 minutes. What happened? What kept you so long? Srila Bhakti Maharaj said, let me tell you about the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. As I was going to the restroom, I was thinking about the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and how Srila Prabhupada perfectly represents Sri Nityananda Prabhu in the modern time. And I was intensely praying to Srila Prabhupada and to Sri Nityananda Ram that please, I have come here to this college. Please give me some empowerment. I want to distribute these books. And I was standing in the men's room, and next to me, a gentleman was standing. And I started talking to him, and he started talking to me. And then we washed up and we were walking out and we were still talking. And then I asked him, sir, what do you do? He said, I'm a professor here. What are you doing? It's a holiday. The university is closed. Oh yeah, I had to just correct some exam papers. So I just came to catch up on my pending work. How about you? Oh, I am a student of philosophy. What do you teach? I am a professor of Eastern philosophy. That professor told me. And I said, I just happen to have some books of Eastern philosophy. And I opened my bag and I showed him the Bhagavad Gita. He said, come to my office. We went to his office. We sat down. I showed him Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. I showed him Srila Prabhupada's Srimad Bhagavatam. I showed him teachings of Lord Chaitanya. I explained to him such nice books, so nicely explained with the original verses. He was very charmed. He said, I will read. I am a professor of Eastern philosophy. To expand my knowledge, I will read these books. Okay, I will buy all the books. Whatever books you have you give me, I will buy. And on a day when the university was closed, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj sold all his books to this professor of Eastern religion because he was praying to Nityananda Prabhu and Srila Prabhupada for empowerment. The professor was happy. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was happy. But the story doesn't end there. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, you are a professor. According to Shastra, the duty of a professor is a Brahminical job. And Brahmans are doing Pathan Pathan. Pathan means to study and Pathan means to teach. You should do Pathan Pathan. You have bought the books. You are going to read them. But what about your students? You should buy some copies for your students also because they would also want to read. He said, yes, give me some advance copies. He wrote another check. Take this money, give me some advance copy. You get more books and you ship them to me for my students. I will distribute it to my students. I will teach them Bhagavad Gita. And whoever joins my Bhagavad Gita class, I will make it compulsory that they have to buy the Bhagavad Gita as it is. So he bought advance copies. I said, but there will be some students in the future who will want to join your classes and they would want to study in the library. So what about your library? Your university library should also have a stock of these books. He said, oh, but the library is closed. Today is a public holiday. Library is closed. But you know what? The librarian is a good friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine. Let me call his home and ask him. If so, you can go to his house and see if you can distribute to him. So he called the librarian's home and his wife answered. He said, where is Mr. Librarian? Oh, Mr. Professor, he's in the university. What? He's in the university. Why? The university is closed. Oh, he had to arrange some books and some pending work. So he has gone to the university library to finish his work, even though it's a holiday. Oh, really? All right, let me see if I can catch him there. He put the phone down. He said, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, let's go to the library. Looks like my librarian friend is also here, catching on some pending work. They go to the library and sure enough, the librarian is there. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj makes a presentation to the librarian and says, my dear librarian, I think your library should stock these first-class Eastern philosophy books. Librarian said, absolutely. Authorized. Wrote a check. Please give us the full set of Prabhupada's books. We want a full section in our library. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj said, what about you? Would you also like to read? He said, yes, I would also like to read. And he bought books for himself also. And Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj came and told Mahabodhi Prabhu, by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu and Srila Prabhupada, even though the library was closed, the university was closed, I was able to sell full sets of Prabhupada books to the professor, for the students, for the library, and for the librarian. Transcendental book distribution ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is the power of Nityananda Prabhu's mercy and Srila Prabhupada's mercy. So thank you very much, dear devotees. Sorry I went over time. I will stop here. Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.